So again, we've dropped the ball as an industry, and it's time for us to improve here. So I want to go back to the myth. Security is a job for IT geeks. That's true to a certain extent, but really it's every single person's responsibility. It's a team effort, and you're only as good as your weakest link. And everyone understands this analogy, right? You have the one link that breaks, and that breaks the chain, you lose your anchor, your ship sails away. Or security actually is not even that good. When I worked with, I don't know, dozens of practices, typically this is the kind of security I see. An absolute absence of security, and then a ridiculous level of security in some specific area. This is not going to do anyone any good. We need a better job, so we're going to go back to some basics. Way we're going to do that is I want to start with some trivia. So, Mr. X lives in zip code 02138. He's born July 31st, 1935. Now, Ty was talking about, I don't know where he went, but how you might want to anonymize data and maybe share that information to help collaborate with your competitors or business partners. So, who thinks that's anonymous? You can be honest about it. Anyone think it's anonymous? Well, you know it's not going to be anonymous. So, that is William Weld, governor of Massachusetts. The insurance company that basically manages all of Massachusetts believed that that was anonymous information, sold that information to industry, and a computer science professor cross-referenced it with the census data and realized that 87% of people are identifiable by those 3 little bits of information. So, we need more entropy. And entropy is a word that we really just need to know for this presentation. But entropy basically means a lack of predictability. So when we have more entropy, it's more chaotic. We can't figure it out. When you have less entropy, it's more simple. We can pretty much understand what's going to happen. So let's apply this to our passwords. Which password is more secure? Pretty much everyone in this room has been trained to believe that probably a washing machine is the more secure password because it has weird characters in there. Cheese Flight Magical Zebra. Who thinks that's more secure? That's actually well, you've taken my course. So washing machine, with those, even with those switched out characters, has an entropy of 26.8 bits. You probably can't read that, but that can be cracked in about 3 hours. That is a very weak password. Cheese Flight Magical Zebra, 39.4 bits of entropy. That would take 3 years to crack. There is no reason that we need to have such weak passwords when we're protecting information. 91% of all passwords can be in the, 91% of passwords are in the top 1,000, and in the top 10,000 passwords represents 99.8% of all passwords. Here's what's worse. This is the top 500 passwords. I just revealed several of your passwords right now in this image. And it's, some of them can be obscene, so we're just going to keep going. But we need to have a better system for figuring out our passwords. So I've decided to use Edward Snowden as a good example since he's been in the news recently. And you can take pretty much any sentence that you can remember in your head. And you can take a news headline, maybe something from your favorite book, maybe something from a magazine, any sentence that you can remember, something not popular though, maybe not the Declaration of Independence is a bad choice, things that are very common like your national slogan or anything like that. You know, choose something a little bit odd, but something that you can remember. Just take the first letter of each one, E, S, R, you can continue it on, and you have a very complex password, even though in your mind you can just remember Edward Snowden revealed US black budgets $52.6 billion in secret spy programs. Next, you've seen a lot that in every single website that you visit, you should never have the same password. So in the middle, maybe we go to, if we're on Facebook, we add Facebook. If we go on Twitter, we might add Twitter. Something simple in the middle to give an indicator of that website, and it's just in a random, as far as if you were looking at that without knowing your password, you would have no idea that that means Facebook there. So now you have a unique password for every single website. You have an easy way to remember it. And now you have a password that would take centuries to crack. Every single one of you can do this. It's free. So how do we apply it to our practice as a whole? I'd ask you to embrace a Leo principle. And basically this means you should limit, encrypt, and obfuscate. I'll go into what I mean by that. So first, the most obvious, limit. If you don't have it, they can't steal it. If your wallet's empty, there's nothing to take. So that's, in English, who, what, when, where, why. Why are we asking for certain information? What information are we asking for? I don't know how many times I've seen a standard contact form that typically asks for email address and question. With a doctor's website, it might be address, date of birth, zip code, all this information. What you're doing is you're exposing yourself and your patient to risk. There's no reason for you to do it. You should limit the amount of information you're collecting if you can.